I have to learn how to breathe underwater like Aquaman.
Okay, let me just start this off by saying there's probably going to be a few spoilers, but I'll try my best to keep them to a minimum, but, you know, just be warned, if you're watching this video, there might be some spoilers, so beware. Now, this is the first of two movies that I saw today which star international superstar Dolph Lundgren. I never thought I'd say that. Don't get me wrong, Dolph Lundgren is awesome, but let's be honest, at this point, I think he's well past his prime. He hasn't been starring in a lot of movies lately, but yeah, he's in two right now, which is pretty awesome. Hold on, what was this review about again? Okay, so Aquaman stars Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, Patrick Wilson, Nicole Kidman, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Willem Dafoe, Dolph Lundgren, and of course Tamura Morrison as Aquaman's father. So it's very good cast, and I've got to say, this movie did not disappoint. As you would expect, a large majority of this film was set either near or underwater, which of course poses quite a few challenges. And I have to say, I did see the trailer already, or a couple of different trailers for this film, so I was quite optimistic about it, and I wasn't disappointed at all. If anything else, this film is absolutely beautiful. You know, you would expect a film that takes place mostly underwater would be quite dark and dingy. You know, it's not very colourful under there, at least from experience I've seen of other sort of underwatery type films. But it's not. It's really colourful. They explain earlier on in the film that the Atlanteans can sort of see in the dark, so they have a different view of underwater than we do. And luckily for us, as viewers, we get to see the world from their point of view, and it's absolutely amazing. Not to say that the stuff that takes place outside of the water isn't, you know, beautiful as well, because it is. The outside stuff is also vibrant and alive, and everything, the whole movie is just absolutely full of colour, which is great, because it's not something that we've so far really got out of the DC universe, considering, you know, the older sort of Superman movies and that sort of stuff. And the cinematography, the special effects, the sets, the costumes, it all looks absolutely amazing. There's the big reveal later on in the movie, as you would expect, of Jason Momoa, Arthur Curry, when he finally turns up in the Aquaman suit, and it looks so fucking cool. It looks really, really great. I have to give special kudos to all the artists that worked on this film. The film is chock full of creatures, animals, like monsters and things, and they're all really well designed and really clever and just utilised in really fascinating ways. There's obvious stuff like using seahorses as actual horses and people riding on the back as sharks and things like that. And then there's some not so obvious stuff, you know, like crab leg being used as a catapult and other things like that. I'm terrible at describing this sort of stuff, but you've got to see it all to believe it, and there's just so many different things going on. I imagine there's probably a lot of stuff that I missed as well, little details, because the thing is incredibly detailed. There's so many different animals and different people, like there's even like fishmen and stuff like that, and the whole thing is just absolutely beautiful at the same time. It is really, really amazing stuff. I imagine that a lot of the world building for Aquaman has already been sort of accomplished in the comic books, so you're probably, you know, ripping a lot of stuff out of the comic books, which is fair enough. You know, it's a comic book movie, that's what you do. But it's all just done so well and to such a great scale that it really makes you feel like you're part of their world. You know, it makes you feel like it's a whole different planet other than ours, which just makes the whole experience so much better, so much grander than you would expect it to be. The cinematography is absolutely brilliant as well. I have to say, probably one of my favourite sort of scenes from the movie is towards the end, where you've got Aquaman and Mara are in Sicily, and they're sort of doing the puzzles and doing everything to try and find the golden trident. And there's just this scene that they're in a big fight scene. They're getting chased by bad guys. Obviously, Aquaman's being chased by the proper big guy, the Black Manta, and then you've got Mara being chased by soldiers. So there's like this shot where Aquaman is sort of on the roof and he's being chased by Black Manta, being shot at and everything. And you see her sort of skipping along in the background, and then the camera sort of pans through and zooms in and then starts following her action. And then it all sort of spins round and it comes back round to where you see Aquaman coming back into the shot, and then it takes over from there. I don't think it's all done in one long camera shot as far as I can remember, but just the way it's done, it works really, really well, and it's really cool. It sounds like simple stuff, but it's just really imaginative, really creative. I really, really liked it. I thought it was probably the best shot of the film. And Yeah, just the whole film is absolutely chock full of other stuff like that. It's insane. And I've definitely got to give a lot of credit to the actors here. I mean, it must be really hard to act while you're trying to hold your breath at the same time.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
I suppose it's not that hard. For real though, Jason Momoa is really great as Arthur Curry. We saw a glimpse of that in Justice League. And then Nicole Kidman and Jango Fett are also really good. They really help to bring all the emotional moments together, which this movie is full of. Pair that up with some really memorable bad guys and some great fight scenes and war scenes, and you get a film that really rivals the last good DC movie, which was Wonder Woman. Let's just pretend that Justice League never happened. It's these individual stories from DC's so far underappreciated characters that are really hitting the mark. I think Wonder Woman was unique because we'd never really seen a proper Wonder Woman movie before, and this does the same thing with Aquaman. So it's making me really look forward to The Flash when that comes out. We've done the TV show, which is great, but I really want to see a really good Flash movie. It should be awesome. Let's just say the bar has been set pretty damn high. I have one small criticism, which is not really much of a criticism to be fair, but it is one thing that just kind of spoils a reveal later on in the movie. It's an obvious reveal, but at the same time, it's made a bit more obvious by this. So the film pretty much opens with Aquaman's parents meeting for the first time. So Nicole Kidman's character, she washes up on the shore, Jango Fett saves her, and they fall in love, and they have Arthur Curry, which is a fair enough story. It's all pretty much ripped straight from the comic books as far as I'm aware. But the way they do it, right, rather than using younger actors to portray the two characters, what they do is they use youngification CGI to make Nicole Kidman look younger and make him look younger, which is done really well. Don't get me wrong, it is done really well. Nicole Kidman looks hot as fuck, but it kind of spoils, later stuff, because for me, in my brain, as someone who watches a lot of films and studies films and does all that sort of stuff, I saw young Nicole Kidman and thought to myself, well, why are they youngifying Nicole Kidman if her character is dead? Right? Because they would just use a young actress. Right? So that automatically put it in my head that, wait, she's going to come back and she's going to be older. She's going to be her actual age. And spoiler alert, that's pretty much what happens. I think it was going to be an obvious plot point anyway. I'm not sure about the comics. I don't know if she's alive in the comics or not. I'm not a massive Aquaman fan, really, to be honest. But it was an obvious plot point that was made even more obvious by that fact. It took me out the film a little bit, to be honest with you. But apart from that, I don't have any other real criticisms about it. From that point onwards, and even that whole thing was really emotional and it really gripped you from the start, to be fair. But from that point onwards, the whole film was just an absolute brilliant thrill ride. So, I can't criticize it too harshly because it worked. It did work. The CGI did work really well. And now for the final verdict. On a literal fish scale, I would have to put this somewhere near the eye hole. It was gripping, exciting, colourful, and imaginative. And with a fair few emotional moments and a good few laughs thrown in for good measure, it just made it a brilliant film to watch. I have to say, the future is looking bright for the DC movie universe, whatever they call it. I'm looking forward to The Flash next, and yeah, it's looking good. I think they're finally turning a page, DC, and, guys, just keep doing what you're doing, because if you keep making films like this, you're on to a winner. I think it's only a matter of time before they start finding a rhythm. I think it's because with this one and with Wonder Woman, they've let the director and the people working on the movie do what they want. Or, they haven't as micromanaged it as much as they did the, Man of Steel and the fucking Batman v Superman thing, because those were shit. Let's be honest, really shit. In comparison, these are Oscar-worthy movies. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're probably not going to win any Oscars, but this, Aquaman, and then Wonder Woman, of course, brilliant. So I'm looking forward to what's to come from DC, definitely. Well, that's me for today. I filmed this pretty quickly because I wanted to get a review out there. All in all, I would say definitely go see Aquaman. It was great. I really enjoyed it, and I think you will too, especially if you're into your superhero films, and if you've got kids, they'll really like it too, because it's fun, you know, there's loads of fish and underwater stuff. It's pretty smart. And yeah, this will be the first of 2 videos about movies starring Dolph Lundgren that I'm going to make. So watch this one today and subscribe, hit the like button, you know, do all that, ring the bell, because I'll be doing another video which will come out tomorrow. I'm just going to film it straight after this, but it's going to be uploaded tomorrow, which will be for Creed 2. So if you want to see my thoughts on Creed 2, tune in and I'll see you guys tomorrow. But for now, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Go see Aquaman. It is brilliant. And I love you guys. Thanks very much. Take care. You'll have yourselves a fantastic day. Mwah! I don't know why I did that.